Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of GVS where we talk things football, basketball, NHL, just anything sports related. We got a story about the Chiefs, so let's jump into it. If you like NFL content, be sure to hit that like button so you know where to come back. The story that we're going to talk a little bit about today is there's some talks going around and there's a little bit of murmurings on, are the Chiefs done? Is the dynasty over? And it's like, funny how we just crowned them a dynasty, but then they go 5-5, and all of a sudden it's not a dynasty anymore. A handful of years ago, I made a video kind of on this same topic and same situation where it was around this time last year, middle of November, end of November. The Chiefs were sitting at 8-5. Does anybody remember how that season ended? They ended up winning the Super Bowl in overtime against the 49ers. Obviously, this team is not the same. I mean, Kelsey's aged just a little bit more. Pacheco, I will say too, for the running game, like with Hunt and Pacheco hasn't been as dominant this season as he was. You know, a lot of people also correlate and talk about how, hey, look at, the receiving core that Mahomes has and how it's not the same and hasn't been the same for the last handful of seasons. And I mean, we kind of glance over the fact that, like, there were a handful of seasons where it was just Kelsey, right after Tyreek left, and Kelsey was enough, which, that's a video for another time on how dominant Kelsey truly was, which I should make a video on that. But where they sit now after they lost another divisional game and lose to the Broncos. Broncos get a leg up now, even more on that division. It's the Broncos division now. I think the Broncos will potentially win it, and maybe Kansas City. Right now, what they're playing for is a 6th seed, or maybe at most a 5th seed, at worst a 7th seed to at least get into the dance. So yeah, right now, as you can see, they're sitting at 5-5 at home, 4-1 on the road. No, they are. I think this number. We'll want to focus on this number a little bit later, is because they're not getting blown out. Like, they actually are outscoring Team 73 by 73 points. Now, let's look at the remainder of their schedule, because everybody's going to talk about, okay, can they get to the playoffs? Are they done? Okay, look. They beat the Lions. They beat the Ravens. But again, Lamar did get injured in this game. And then they've had kind of a weird stretch where they've gone 3-3 in their last 6. Beating up on the, you know what I mean. People would look at this game differently. Now, they have everything in front of them when it comes to, do I think they're going to go 12-5? Absolutely not. Now, do I think they could get 11-6, 10-7? Potentially. Let's look at these games. This is a very winnable game. And if you want to shut everybody up and shut out all the haters, the easiest way for them to do it is to beat the Colts here, because everybody, has been saying the Colts have been dominating and they could potentially be a Super Bowl contender. You beat the Colts here and shut out the noise. You roll over here, you beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and you start to just get things rolling here where you have 3 wins in a row, and now you welcome the Chargers, a divisional opponent, to help try to fight your battle and get your way back into this division race against the Chargers here. Now, after sitting at 5-5, the Chiefs have now won 4 in a row, and they're sitting at 9-5. I don't think oh my gosh, the Chiefs suck would be the same narrative then, especially if they can win 4 in a row, get done with the Chiefs. Look who's sitting and waiting there. So we could blink here, and the Chiefs would be 10-5 after beating the Titans on the road. But this could also be one of those whoops games, and even in my prediction for the Chiefs this season, I said, watch out for this Titans game, because what if the Titans are sitting at 2 wins or 3 wins by the time this game rolls around? It has the makings of, hey, the Titans just lost 8 in a row, and they're in desperate need of a win. So what if they just play a little bit of upset against the Chiefs? But then you finish out the season, you split 1-1 with the Broncos to give you some good feelings and motivations going into the postseason if they do run into the Broncos again. And then you beat the Raiders to close out the season, because the Raiders are sitting at 2-8. The Raiders have had a struggle season. So I think the playoffs are right there for the taking, right there for the grabbing. And then realistically speaking, Okay, out of these remainder games, you win 5 of your next 7. End the season at worst 10-7, at best 12-5. But again, we'll just have to see how it goes. But that's just my thoughts on that, guys. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I wanted to make this video because everybody's talking about, oh man, the Chiefs aren't. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah, it might look like they're down and out, but something's gonna click here, and I think getting a win against the Colts could be huge in pushing motivation and get the ball rolling. Because I mean, the Bills and the Broncos have shown that they are some of the best teams in the AFC. And yeah, if your offense isn't clicking and everything's not going well, you can't establish a run game. Yeah, you're not, it's going to be a tough day at the office. But to say, after all the dominance that the Chiefs have had these past 5 seasons, to just be like, oh, they ain't even making the playoffs this year. What world are we living in? This isn't like post Tom Brady Patriots era where it's like, yeah, they're probably not. Like Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid and Hunt and Pacheco and some of their stars on the defense like Jones and Tranquil. Like there are still guys there on the team that have been there for some of the previous Super Bowl wins. So, yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.